Hey guys, this is your first notes video for this class. We're looking at our key concept 1, right? Similarity and volume. Make sure your name is on your packet. Then we're going to look at our first day, so our first mastery learning objective. And our mastery learning objective is I can identify a transformation by applying the definitions of translations, reflections, and rotations. This should be a review from Math 1. Okay, so this first topic is, you've seen it before. Okay. So, a transformation, oops, that's not what I wanted to do at all. A transformation is a function that describes a change in the position. So everything we're going to be doing is on graphs, so I might move where something is on the graph. The orientation. So that's like the direction you're facing, so you can spin things around. Or the size of a figure. Okay, so I can make it bigger or smaller. Transformations will not change the shape. So the general shape, if it's a triangle, it's going to stay a triangle, right? It just might move or grow or shrink. The pre-image is what we call the original figure, and the image is what we call it after it's been transformed in some way. Okay, so we're going to look at 3 of our transformations today. Okay. The first is a translation. So, a translation, oops, need to be able to write. Is a transformation that slides a figure along a straight line. Okay, so this is just moving a figure around the graph. So looking at example 1, the first thing I'm going to do is graph and label triangle XYZ that has its coordinates at -4, 1, 0, -1, and -2, -3. So let's graph those points. I have x at -4, 1. So -4 over left 4, and then up 1. I need to write the point. I'm just going to write x. Okay. And then 0, -1. So 0 and then down 1. That's y. And then z is at -2, -3. Z. And since I am graphing the triangle, I do need to put those. All right, these aren't 3 separate points. This is a shape, so make sure you draw your lines in. So again, those are my original points. Now I need to translate, right? I'm going to graph and label the image x prime. That's what that little apostrophe means and how you say it. It's called prime. So x prime, y prime, z prime after translation of 4 right and 1 up. So how I translate that is my x is moving right 4, and my y is moving up 1. So that's going to move to, sorry, that's x prime. -4 plus 4 is 0. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? So 0, 2. The other thing you can do, instead of writing it algebraically, you can just look at it graphically. I'm moving over 4, up 1 to get to my new x point. It's that easy. Okay? I think some of the transformations are easier to do algebraically, and some are easier to do graphically. But I will show both. So same thing with y prime, 0 plus 4, and then -1 plus 1. So that's going to be 4, -1 plus 1 is 0. Or again, over 4, up 1, there it is. And that is y. And then finally z, -2 plus 4, and your y is plus 1. -2 plus 4 is 2. -3 plus 1 is -2. So again, over 4 up 1, that does give you negative 2, 2, and that's your z. Again, the last thing I'm going to do is, and make sure I put the little prime mark so it's not the same thing. Okay, so all I did was move it. It didn't change shape, or it didn't change shape, it didn't change size, and it didn't change orientation. This just changed its position. Okay. Now we're going to look at some examples of kind of the other way where I see the graphs and I'm making up the rule. So you have to know where you're starting. You're always starting at the one without the apostrophes, right? The non-prime, your original. So this is your pre-image, and this is your image, right? So I'm starting here, and I'm moving to the other one. So I'm just going to choose one of my points, D. I'm going to go to D prime. It doesn't matter if you go left or right first or up and down first. I just usually go left or right first. So this is 1, 2, 3 left, 1, 1, 2, 3 down. Easy as that. Same thing here. Where's one's my pre-image? Which one's my image? Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4 left. 1, 2 up. Why did I say left here? I very much apologize. I don't know my directions, obviously. That's 3 right and 3 down. This one is 3 left and 2 up. Okay. Be careful with the directions. That is a common mistake, as I just made it. So just double check. So again, translations just change position. All right, go ahead. Flip to the next page. We are now looking at reflections. A reflection is a transformation that flips a figure across a line. The line is called the line of reflection. Okay. On the following graph and label triangle ABC that has its vertices A25, B62, and C22. Okay. One thing I'm going to say before we start is we have 2 types of reflection, right, across a vertical line, X switches, across a horizontal line, Y switches. Okay. So let's start looking at this one. We're going to graph triangle ABC. So A is at 2, 5. Doesn't like when I draw points. So that is point A. Then B is at 6, 2. And C is at 2, 2. Now I'm going to graph A prime, B prime, C prime after you reflect the pre-image across the x-axis. So the x-axis is here. This is the line I am reflecting it across. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. So, I also forgot to draw my triangle. So this is a horizontal reflection. Okay, so I don't know why I put that there. 2, 5. B is at 6, 2, and C is at 2, 2. So to reflect it, all we're gonna do is this is your horizontal, so our y is going to switch. So x stays the same, y switches. It's going to become -5. The other way to do it is how far is your point from the line of reflection. If I go straight to that line of reflection, I just went 5, so I'm going to go 5 in this direction. That's the way to do it graphically. Okay. Same thing for B. Y switches signs, or it's 2 away, 2 away. There's B. That's 6, -2. Finally, same thing for C. Or graphically, it's 2 away here. Just going to continue that line and draw 2 away. That's C prime. Okay, easy as that. So reflections are really simple of just changing those signs a lot of the time, or how far away it is from the line of reflection. All right, so again, same type of thing. I'm going to look at these and try and to write the rule. Okay, I know they're reflecting, but I have to decide what they're reflecting over. So looking at this first one, the easiest way to decide how they're reflecting is I'm going to connect my 2 points and find the middle of it. Well, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units long. So if I go 3, that's the middle. Same thing, G and G prime, it's 4 units long. If I go 2, that's the middle. It's kind of easy to see, but right, F to F prime, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units long. 4 is the middle. Okay? Once you find the middle, connect to those points. There is your line of reflection. So this is a reflection over this one is the y-axis. Doing the same thing with example 6, y to y prime. I think that's easy to spot the middle. I to I prime, I think that's an I. Again, easy to spot the middle. T and T prime, or it's 6 long. There's the middle, all right? They should all line up in the same line. Then, so this is a reflection over the line. How do we call this line? Well, it crosses the y-axis, so it's going to be y equals, and it crosses the y-axis at 1, so it's y equals 1. Okay. Reflections change. They still will change position, just like translations, yes, position, and orientation. It flipped. It's facing a different direction. Okay. All right, the last, turn the page. The last transformation we're going to look at today is rotations. A rotation is a transformation, this should say that, not the, that spins a figure around a given point called the center of rotation. In order to complete a 90 degrees clockwise rotation, switch X and Y, and then make Y negative. In order to complete a 90 degree counterclockwise rotation, switch X and Y, and make X negative. In order to complete a 180 degree rotation, make X and Y negative. On the following graph, looking at example 7, on the following graph, Graph and label triangle ABC that has its vertices at A0, 0, B2, 0, and C2, 4. So let's start by doing that. A is at 0, 0. B is at 2, 0. And C is at 2, 4. Now I'm going to graph triangle A prime, B prime, C prime after rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. So if we look above counterclockwise, I need to switch X and Y and X becomes negative. Okay. So A is going to be pretty simple because when I switch X and Y, it's still 0, 0. If I make 0 negative, well, negative 0 is still just 0. Okay? So this didn't actually spin at all or change at all. It's A and A prime. If I switch my points, it's 0, 2. And if I make 0 negative, nothing changes. So 0, 2. There's B prime. Switch X and Y. X becomes negative. Negative 4, 2. Okay. You can see here that the shape did not change size, it did not change shape, it's just been spun around. All right, we are going to write a rule to describe each transformation. Looking at example 8, how did this rotate? Well, this is my pre-image, this is my image, so I'm going from here to here. So it only went one quadrant. So this is 90 degrees. And did it go the way a clock goes or the opposite way a clock goes? Right? This is clockwise. Okay. Clockwise. Example 9, right? This is my pre-image. This is my image. It started at this quadrant. It moved and moved. Or you could say it went this way and then this way. So this is just, it moved 2 quadrants. Sorry, again, it's been doing that all day. It moved 2 quadrants. So that just makes it 180 degrees. Rotation, it doesn't matter if I go this way or if I go that way. So when it's 180 degrees, you don't have to tell me if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. They'll meet in the middle. All right, looking at example 10. Here is my pre-image and my image. So I'm going this way, and then I have to move to the next quadrant, right? T goes to this quadrant, then to this quadrant. Or, again, it could go the other way. But this is 180 degrees rotation. In example 11, same thing. It jumped 2 quadrants. That's 180 degrees rotation. Okay. So again, rotations will change your position where you are on the coordinate plane. Why do I keep putting O's after things? And then orientation. My brain is getting ahead of me. I was trying to write this O over there. Okay, so rotations change position and orientation, where it's facing. All right, that is it for your first video. We will start our activity tomorrow.